That's the gist on the future of business in Africa in terms of what is the perspective of businesses post coronavirus and after or during also the coronavirus. So, just as guys come in, you guys can grab your notes, grab a pen, grab a paper. We'll be having an in-depth, just an impromptu short discussion, and just think about what will be the future of businesses, your business, my business. If you, we have a phone line open over there, so you guys can also call in and let's just have a discussion about your business, what you guys are facing, what you guys are seeing in the market in terms of your customers, in terms of supply chain, in terms of logistics, in terms of warehousing, in terms of demand, in terms of also, let's say, raw material. So one big thing that for most businesses during this time is that, especially retail business, is that most of the consumers who used to be relied upon in terms of being walking traffic aren't as much as before, especially with the effect of social distancing implied across the world. So this has dramatically impacted business, especially most here in Kenya, here in Africa. The conversation, or rather, what is happening on the ground is that there aren't as much consumers as possible. So for many industries or for many businesses, we need to adapt, we need to innovate in order to match up with the current demands of the economy and the current demands of the consumer. So in terms of one, distribution has to be key. Right now that customers can't come to your shop, what can you do as a retail business? So you'll get that logistics and supplies, warehousing will have to be one of the key components for most businesses to flourish. So if I'm a business and I don't have those capabilities, what can I do in order to leverage on those capabilities? So, for example, you see that restaurants, uh, some restaurants don't have the capability of doing delivery. Some restaurants don't have the capability of, let's say, having people order online. So what do they do? So they leveraged on technology in terms of one, they got on Uber, they got on Yam, they got on most of these delivery apps. So they leverage on that technology and rather that platform for them to deliver their products to the consumer in order to fulfill and meet that gap of distribution. So another industry I'll take, for now, educational institutions have been closed, and you'll get that some institutions, most of their candidates who will sit, let's say, their Form 4 exams, Class 8 exams, or whichever exams, be it in a PhD, be it undergrad, be it from whatever level. If you're doing IGCSE, you also have your IGCSE exams, whatever types of exams that you guys are having. So you get that some institutions already have put in place mechanisms in terms of, let's say, one, using Zoom for teaching their students, using Google Education for teaching their students. But for some and most of the educational institutes, most of them haven't leveraged a way to distribute their content. How do you get your content? How do you get your propositions towards your consumers? The education institution, the consumers are their students. So how do they get their content to their students? How do they follow up? How do they make sure that these students are up to date, regardless, because them too are facing deadlines. So in terms of embracing technology, so one way that this educational institutions can leverage beyond Zoom technology is to implement things such as one, if I'm an educational institution, I can be having, let's say, like a live stream. So like sort of what we're having right now. So during the live stream can be on our website, the website being rather the institution's website. So let's say I'm Strathmore School, I'm Strathmore Secondary School, I'm Precious Blood Recruiter, I'm, let's say, just name it, or any university. I'm a South African university. So I know that my students are at home. So how do I deliver content? How do I keep them abreast in terms of their timelines and in terms of them meeting their schedules and predetermined goals in order for them to graduate in time and in order for them to still get the same value that they were getting in terms of being walk-in customers at my institution. So during the live stream, I'll be able to deliver that content. I'll be able still to deliver to the consumer the same guidelines that they would have got while in class. The only disadvantage, or the disadvantage that most educational institutions will have during this timeline, is that most of their educational goals are not being met in terms of when people will graduate. Because the coronavirus has dramatically shifted this conversation in terms of what people were supposed to do, what there was, the guidelines, and also their timelines. So how do they leap forward to the next level? So we educational institutions also need to meet this cost upfront. So it's not really a cost. Consider the cost in terms of losing time, because if I'm a student and I've paid for my exams and I've paid for the whole year, I'm losing time. So time is something that I can't leverage on in terms of education. So how do I bridge the gap in terms of education, in terms of lost time? So live stream, or let's say conferencing, let's say if you're using, let's say, Zoom. For Zoom, it allows for more a one-to-one interaction. In cases where you need a live stream enables a wider reach, because you're looking at the quality of the stream of if you're looking at a conference, which is a Zoom, you're looking at having people on board who are rather giving you a one-to-one conversation in terms of, this is what I need to explain, this is what I mean. But for a live stream, you can have better quality content, because you're not streaming from your computer, you're not streaming from your laptop, you're streaming with a computer. So whereas you need to project, let's say, like a PowerPoint presentation, you need also to give a quality display in terms of what the customer or what your consumer will see. The best advantage to use would be a live stream. Beyond education as a business, we're looking at other businesses that are also thriving during this current period. Logistics, for one, is one of the key markets that has seen will see a steady growth in terms of the market and in terms of Africa. So the only challenge across Africa is the circumnavigation of markets, in terms of linking markets together, because you get that in many African economies, their logistics and supply chains is highly fragmented. You have different suppliers, you have different third-party logistic warehousing providers. So you get that most of these organizations and businesses, they are operating in silos. So there isn't one set way in terms of getting the product to the consumer. So in order for businesses to go to the next level, and in order for them to identify gaps, there are huge gaps in terms of linking markets and syncing markets in order to get to the consumer faster. So how do I know the best possible route to get to the consumer? What also are the best storage options in different markets? So we need to shift also the conversation towards linking markets and linking consumers together, and also linking logistic providers together, be it either in a platform sense of way, be it either in a body, so that we have a synchronized way of getting products to the consumer. In terms of also raw materials, you get that most businesses have also been facing shortages, which also has been affected by the coronavirus. So you get that most businesses who were heavily relying on imports from China for their raw materials. So you get that most of the traditional source markets have been closed off for most manufacturing companies. So what is the next best alternative in terms of sourcing raw materials in the continent? So in order for us, in order for businesses to thrive, they'll still need to put in place a hierarchy, or rather an ecosystem, in terms of knowing who is the next best supplier of these products in the African continent, who can provide me these goods at a lower cost or at a faster rate, even though this is my source market has traditionally been, for example, China, for my raw materials. How do I get the next best raw material within the continent that I can still get this raw materials and still be able to meet my deadlines and my timelines in terms of deliveries, in terms of producing goods that consumers still want to consume in the market. So raw materials. So we need to create ecosystems and business ecosystems that also fulfill the supply of raw materials within the continent. And this will need also, in terms of cross-border partnerships, beyond just single businesses, but also huge corporates, huge manufacturing companies, and also suppliers. And the whole ecosystem and the whole value chain has to be built up. But the first and the most fundamental aspect of it will have to be supply chain, also have to be third-party logistics, and we'll also have to incorporate technology and also data into bringing this, or rather leveraging this infrastructure or distribution elements of the ecosystem together. Another industry that will still continue to be influenced is going to be property and real estate. So for one, most buyers are now not doing a lot of physical walk-ins towards real estate, or rather going to see property. So how do I deliver property? How do I still continue showcasing property in the market? How do I also deliver the different products that me as a property owner has in the market? So one of the key things that live streaming affords is that with live streaming you can now be able to deliver your property towards consumers at the comfort of their homes. So a big advantage of live streaming is that, one, you're getting economies of scale, in that you don't have to depend on one consumer coming to you to view the property. You can have thousands of consumers seeing your property in real time and still have one-to-one engagement in terms of what the consumer wants to see across the live stream platform. So be it I'm live streaming on my own website. So let's take a property company like Has Consultant. So for Has Consultant, what they can do is that they can have their live property show. So during the live property show, they have their sales agents taking guys. Let's say I'm a property investor in the UK, or I'm a property investor in South Africa. I'm a property investor in Uganda. I'm a property investor in Kenya. So during the live show, the all of these property investors can come into the live show, engage with the sales agent as he takes him or her or multiple or number of consumers across their property tours. So let's say Has Consultant has a property in Kilimani, or let's say they have one in Syokimau. So during the live stream, the property or the sales agent takes the consumer across the property. Let's say if I'm the property investor from the UK, I can be engaged with this property agent in terms of the live comments. I can also call in during the live show, like what I have right now on the stream. So during the stream, they can be a live interaction. There's that media richness in terms of who seeing what you want, seeing, also engaging in terms of voice, also engaging in terms of media, in terms of visibility and what I'm saying. So what I see is what I get. So there's that real aspect, that media richness in terms of using live stream. So as we continue on, the one of the key major and the future of businesses has to be a way in order how can I use technology in order to increase distribution, in order not just relying on physical distribution or just waiting on the customer. How can I get to the customer and not wait for the customer to come to me? So distribution, getting to the customer, has to be one of the key and the major aspects that businesses need to evolve their ecosystems around. How do I do it in a sustainable way that will impact my sales at the end of the day? For example, for what we've talked about, retail need to reinvent itself. Most retail businesses, let's take for example most malls, because okay, I've been to many malls over this period, and you get that if you go to these malls, there's the Nike shops, the furniture shops, you name them. They do have whatever they have in offer at their stores, of which they are paying huge leases for them. But you get that in terms of business and walk-in customers, they're not having the same volume of traffic in terms of who they are tracking to the store. So we'll continue to see that online will play a big role in terms of what they have in terms of sustainability. So most businesses will need to engage in various ways in terms of engaging the consumer and bringing to the forth in terms of what does the consumer want to see. So if I'm using, let's say, online, and I want to engage more audiences. So who are the influencers I can use in terms of bringing consumers to my shop? So who are the peers in the industry in terms of people who resonate with my brand? So let's say if I'm a furniture store, who is my customer demographic? Who is also my customer avatar? So in terms of knowing demographics, in terms of their age sets, in terms of knowing their location, and also in terms of knowing their tastes, their preferences, and who do these guys follow? So how can I also use influencers in order to bring traffic to my brand? So let's say I can create a live stream show at, let's say, a furniture shop, use a certain influencer who can bring for me the walk-in traffic in terms of online traffic to my shop. So during the live stream, we can have, let's say, an entertainment segment. Let's say somebody performs before the show to bring in that aspect of traffic. So during after the guy does the performance or does whatever he can either sell my products or also be engaged live during the talk about what I have in store. So during, let's say, if I'm that furniture shop, let's say I'm on odds and ends, I'm Fair Deal Furniture, or I'm Ashley's Furniture. So what Ashley's Furniture can have, it's, let's say, I can have an artist perform at one of my shops. So during the live coverage, the artist brings in the volume of traffic. So this will need also, let's say, a pre-campaign in terms of knowing him pushing, let's say, the message that is going to be an activation. So during that activation, he does the whatever performance or whatever the influencer is good at. So during that charade or during that process, he can additionally have engage now the furniture store in terms of what are the products that, let's say, the Fair Deal Furniture has in terms of odds and end, what do they have. So let's say I'm an artist like let's say Calligraph, or let's say I'm a Jay-Z at Ashley's Furniture. I'm a South African artist. I'm whoever I can be. I can be also just be a media personality. So during that activation, we can be having, let's say, a pay bill number during the live stream. Also put delivery information. So during the live stream, it is more engaged. There's also that one-on-one conversation in terms of this is the product, this is how much it costs. I can still pay from it, let's say, from my home. So do I go to, is there a link during the live stream, let's say linking it to my online store, or is it, do I have a mobile money payment option in terms of how do I buy just from the comfort of my home using mobile money and still have delivery. I can still also ask about different features. I can still ask about live demos. So the consumer is more engaged about what he's seeing and what the store offering still has, and still deliver to the consumer at the end of the day. So today, that was one of the key things that we had in store. So distribution. That will be one of the key major things that most businesses, especially retail, still have to focus on. How do I distribute to my customers? How do I reach to my customers? How do I use technology in order to leverage distribution and reach my customers? How do I leverage economies of scale? Do I need to hop onto a platform in order to get this advantage? Do I need to create my own platform? Do I need to bring players together in an ecosystem and still leverage on this data sets and rather different capabilities that we have as distributors or people providing the infrastructure of delivery within this ecosystem? Yeah, so that has been my rant today. Feel free to call us also if you want to have let's say a live stream show. We can still create for you guys a live stream setup show. If you guys also have want to, let's say, have a live stream shopping show, we can come to your shop, have a live stream show. So during the show, we have your consumers engage with you. Also have you as people, let's say your sales agents, selling to consumers from the comfort of their home. But I also need to think, for you to think about, if you're not doing this, then what is the impact that your business is having during the coronavirus and after the coronavirus? What will be the long-term effect towards what is the volume of business that you're losing? Consider in terms of cost. What are the cost benefits that your business, because in terms of, if you're not implementing distribution to your business, what next then?
Are you waiting for Godot? From If you don't know about Godot was one of the characters in the River and the Source, where it was a figure of speech in terms of waiting for chance to happen. So instead of waiting for Godot, what can you do as a business? How can you leverage technology in order to grow your sales, in order to improve your revenues, which live streaming affords you? So thank you guys, and cheers, and see you on the next one. Peace. And I'm out.